Hi, Pontus at Plibonigi. Today I'm going to show you a little bit about the template editor, a short understanding of the Jeeves reports. Okay, so we start with a little PowerPoint part, but we are going to do most of the things in Jeeves. So we start with which reports are gonna show where. The printing of the reports from the drop down will show both reports from your own company, but also the company that is set as the template company of your company. You can see what company that is by going to the program SY and look for the field called template company. Overlaid templates, or those that usually are used for headers and footers, they are always printed from your own company. When you design reports, you can only design the reports that are connected to the company that you are right now placed in. Okay, so now we switch over to Jeeves. I've chosen to work with the order program and an order acknowledgement. So in my database I have all my reports in the company that is the template company. So I switch to that one. Go to template editor. I always go to the reprint. The reason why I do that is that when you go and edit, you want to sometimes print and see how it looks, and then you can use the same order. You don't have to create a new order every time. So I go to reprint order acknowledgement, edit template. My tip for this is that I start by saving in a new name. Order acknowledgement test. So I don't change anything for the other people that are currently working with these reports. So I press OK. So now I'm in the template editor. I have changed the name of this template that I'm going to edit. So now I'm good to go. Now I need to know what the different things are when I look at it. At first, the Jeeves template editor seems a little bit messy, and that is a little bit because it is. But if we focus on what is, then we look at the outside part here. You see it's a black dashed line, and if I scroll down that one, that indicates the size of the paper, and that is with margins, and that comes from two things. One is what the printer's settings are for the size and shape that so right now I have A4 in a portrait orientation, but note that if I use another printer, they can have different offsets and actually different sizings of an A4. The only thing I need to be really sure about is that I create my own margin at the bottom, so I don't have to let the report passing over to a new page. Next thing is those dashed lines that are a little bit thin, or actually I should go for the blue lines first, which is the windows. The windows orientation here is, if I double click and get information from it, they have an XY position connected to the origo of the paper. So those do not contain anything else but the next part, that is these windows here. The blue lines are called frames, and these ones are called windows. So windows within the frames, and those have their X and Y position on the frame's origo. So if I move the frame here, I will move everything within the frame. The fields are the things that the windows are containing. So the fields have similar, their X and Y are connected to the origo of that window. So and the fields can be two types: database driven types, which, for example, here you see that this field is from FR, or fixed text files, which is just a regular text that I can put in. Okay, so I will go through the buttons here so we get a little bit of understanding. This is a regular save button. Save as. Close the editing. Changes on the setup. This is where you say that what paper size, or if it's portrait or landscapes. Default printer. If you set your default printer here, it will be the default printer for everybody. So if you want everybody to print on the same printer that is your default, you need to, before editing, change your default printer to another one, and then change the setting here. Next field is set global font. I only use this if I want to dramatically change a template. Usually I never use that one. This one is to write fixed text. Basically I just press it, place where I want to write, and say hi everyone. And then I have that text here. In order to delete a fixed text, you double click on it and delete the text and press OK, then it disappears. Next field is adding picture. The thing, and they only use BMP files. Thing with these is that they should at least be, the file should be at least 50% or larger than how you want it on your report. I will go back to the picture handling later, because there is a trick to that too. If I want to add a copy, that is basically never used anymore, but back in the days you wanted to print and order an acknowledgement on paper, and you wanted your own copy. So I could, when I'm done with the report, I could add a copy and say that also says copy here. Now when everybody is emailing these, you don't really have the same need for that anymore. This is a snap to grid. I've never really used it. If you have that, you will easier be able to move stuff around in the grid. You see, it's not as floating. But usually what I do is that I use the X and Y coordinates or the arrows on the keyboard. This one is a kind of preprint how it looks like, but it hides basically everything that is like the lines and stuff here. This is my favorite button. That is show details. This is where I do most of my editing. The reason why is that here, if I click on a field, I know that I'm on that field, and not by mistake click on a window and move the whole thing. The thing is, you don't have a redo button here. So save frequently, and if you mess up catastrophically, you exit and open up the last save. But if I'm in here, things are much easier. So I can change texts here, info. If I want to have the length longer on this field, I just change the length here, and it will appear longer on the display. It will always print the whole text, but it will only show parts of it. On database field, you can truncate when printing, and you can so you can set the length, and you can say that, okay, I'm after 36, I'm cutting this field. To take away a field, for example, ordering department. This is a field that I'm not interested in because we don't use it. So I double click, and this is a database field, and you don't delete, you set it as invisible. Then it disappears, and we probably want to take away the header. So I double click, and here when it's fixed text, I delete the text. And as soon as I move around, this will change. So I can basically, by pressing Shift, I just click on the other fields and go with the arrow button. That is, in my opinion, the fastest way. You can use these two also in order to align stuff better. I usually look for these and just fix that. Okay. To add a field here, for example, I want to add some field to the header along with your reference and stuff. So I right click on the part that is over the window that I'm going to change. Right click, and you see there are two parts here, add field and show invisible fields. We don't remove added fields. So the first part is I look if this field is already added to another report within this program. So I look here and see, currency is already added. So I mark this one, I choose make visible, and it opens up here. And it always opens up with the X and Y position as 0. Now I don't have anything here, so I might as well just press OK and then close. Then I can move this one. And I want to place this right after payment terms. And if I look here, it looks a little bit like it's two different font sizes. So I double click on the one that I had and it says Arial. And if I click on choose font, it says Arial regular 10. So I just press cancel and check so I have the same font here. Now you see it is font size 8. So I change that one to font size 10. I want also to add so it says that this is the currency. So I just press the T for text and says write currency and put that over there. Then I save and those changes are done. If I want to add a field, that is, if I didn't find it in the show invisible fields, I press add field. I have all the tables here. And so I choose a table. In this case, I take the table of the agreement, and I go to the agreement text or agreement description, which is this field. I press add. I add it, and right now you see that to make the report work after adding removing fields, you must delete all procedures. This sounds like a crazy stunt, but it's not as bad as it seems. Okay? These procedures that we want to delete are the procedures that are the window-based procedures. So I press OK, I save my report, and so currently no one can print any order acknowledgement right now. So I should do those things when people are not in the door, inside the house, or working, sorry, inside Jeeves. So I go here and do database, update database, delete all window procedures. Very important that this one is not checked. Only delete window procedures. You press OK, and it updates the window procedures, and so now the report can be run again. How I knew what the field name was when I was searching for it is this. I go to that program OFH, the agreement program. There are two ways to see what that field is about. One way is to just check it for a search and press show search condition. I like this one because you can mark the text and copy paste it into your notes of what changes that has been done to this report. Otherwise, you can press Ctrl Alt F12, which will show you, instead of the layouts, or the descriptions, will show you the field names.